Hi everyone, another layout today. First of all, I just wanted to thank the lovely ladies that have been leaving me some comments in the last couple of days. I really appreciate it. And if this is your first time watching, please leave some comments. I'd love to hear what you guys think and where you guys are from. Okay, so this layout today I'm doing of my son with his new favourite toys at the moment, which is his Lego minifigures, which is his obsession really. But I wanted to get this page done. So I'm playing with the Confetti Celebration DSP from Stampin' Up. I'd already used some of this on a different layout. That's why I've got partial 12 by 12 sheets there. So I'm just playing around with them, deciding which combination I want as my background. So this is what I decided to go with, the greys and blues. Or aquas, I should say. So I just cut those down and stuck those down, and I did cut out a square from the back sheet, which I used later on. It's always a good trick just to not waste. Plus, then you know you can use a bit more later on, which I always do. I really love this arrow print. It's very full on and bright. So I didn't want to go with it as a whole background, but I definitely wanted to use it. So I decided to cut it into a banner, and then I actually turned it up the other way, which you'll see shortly. But I really love the colours in it, and it goes well with these colourful minifigures. So there's the sheet that I cut out from the middle of the background, that grey there. So I decided to make my photo with that. So as always, I sanded the edges of my photo, which gives it just a nice white border around my photo. It to me just adds in an extra sort of layer, a little bit of texture to the layout, and it's just a quick and easy way of doing it. But it just brings attention to the photo, I think. That's just me. Okay, so here I am playing around with where the border, where that strip of paper is going to go. And I kept thinking I wanted it to go horizontally, but I do end up moving it, and I'm glad I did. It turns out better the other way around. So this is the way I end up with it. Then I cut a little bit of extra pieces to do another mat underneath my photo. So I'm just playing around with it here, thinking, do I really want that strip to be vertical? And I go with yes. So I decide that I want to do my title, and I wanted to do it on a tag. So I pulled out the Metro Type Alphabet stamp set, which is one of the new photopolymer sets from Stampin' Up, which are the see-through stamps. And as you can see, they do stain. I have used the L and the E before of my Lego there, and you can see that it was already dark because they do stain. So I'm using it on one of the Project Life grid cards that come from Stampin' Up now. I was trying to show before to the screen the grid on that piece of white, if you're wondering why I was sticking that white piece up in the camera. There's a subtle grid on it, but you can't see it on the camera. But in real life, you can see the nice little grid, and it gives it a nice bit of texture. And then I used the scallop tag punch to make a nice tag out of that. Very versatile, that scallop tag punch. Love mine. I use it all the time. Anyway, so I used some of the letter stickers. They're from the Everyday Adventure Project Life pack. And I spelt out the word minifigures. And I put it on wax paper so that I could make sure that it fit on the tag first. And like I did, because I got out my Dotty Angels stamp set, which is this one here, and wanted to put a bit of texture on the background. So I just stamped it up with some smoky slate just to have it just as a texture in the background, and to put the stickers over the top. So I cut about a bit of this video out because it was a little bit of fussing around doing that, but I love this title at the end. It just worked out perfect, so I was really happy with it. So I just wanted to trim down this piece of paper because I didn't want the banner so far down as it was. So I just trimmed it off to push it back up a little bit. Then I decided it needed a little bit of grounding down the bottom because there was a bit of a gap between that bottom banner and the title. So I cut a bit of extra paper, and you can't see it in the video, but this is actually quite a bright piece of paper. It's lots of colourful dots all over it, so I didn't want too much of it to show. I didn't want too much colour, like another strong pattern paper showing too much. So I just wanted it just in the background as a matte, just to bring together that bottom section. And there wasn't too much of a gap then between the banner and the tag. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I was wondering what I was doing there. I went away and got my Project Life pens. I decided that because there was a lot of dark on this layout, that it needed to be emphasised, each piece. So I just went around with my pen and just ran around the edges. I just cut some of that out because it did take me a while to go around the edges of everything, but I did it all the way around the background. I did around the photo mat of the photo, around the banners, around the green pieces, and around this background piece. The only thing I didn't outline was my tag, because the stickers were hanging slightly off the edge of each side of that tag. I decided that I would just leave it, which turned out fine, I thought. So I'm just working out where everything's going to go, and I grabbed my little bowl, and this little bowl I sit on my desk all the time, and it has all my little bits and pieces in there. It has buttons and brads and chipboard pieces and paper clips and anything that, like these little vellum speech bubbles, I'd use that for a different project, didn't use them, so I just threw them in the bowl. And as you can see, I've got other pieces of stamped feathers and things, just pieces that I don't use when I'm doing something else, and they're perfectly fine. I just don't use it. I throw it in the bowl. And so for these ones, I thought I really wanted to use these speech bubbles, but I knew I wouldn't use these particular ones, but it gave me the perfect size for what I wanted to do, so I could play around with it. So I pulled those out, and I pulled out an arrow, and that was from the Everyday Adventure Project Life pack as well. And then the top right hand corner of the photo there, I pulled out an arrow paper clip, and this is actually retired. You can't buy these anymore, which I'm sad about because I love them so much, and I have a stockpile of them. They came in little packs, I think, with arrows and speech bubbles and hangers, I think, but I love them. And then I'd also grabbed out some of the new In Colour sequins. They're called the In Colour Sequin Assortment. They come in normal sequins, stars, sequins, and heart sequins in the In Colours for last year. And I absolutely adore them. They're great. So I pulled out some of the star pistachio pudding ones because I knew that would match with the colours in here. I love splatters on my layouts. I just don't want splatters on every layout. So as an alternative to my splatters on this layout, I decided to go with the little splattering of sequins. So I also pulled out this washi tape. This washi tape was from the it was from the other Project Life pack, the Happiness one. Happiness is Project Life pack. I just felt it needed just an extra little bit of layering in there behind the photo. So I put that in, and now I'm just assembling everything because most of it's done. I was taping everything down. Here I decided not to put any more washi symmetrical to the one at the top. I decided to put it underneath just to be a little bit different, make it look, the texture look a bit different. So I just put it underneath there. And then I realised that I had a little bit of a gap between the washi and the photo. So that's okay. I just pulled out the other washi that I had thought about maybe using for this layout, which was the green one, the green hearts. And that's from the Sweet Sadie washi set. It's the pistachio pudding one. And I just thought, I'll just fill that little gap in there. And now it works out great. So I wanted a little bit of extra yellow washi tape to go between the banner and the tag just to, once again, fill up that gap. If you leave too much of a gap, it's just going to draw your eye to the gap instead of drawing your eye to the photo. So that was the idea behind that. I put a bit of extra dimensionals behind those banners too, just to give a bit of texture on the page. I didn't stick them down to the page because once they're in the page protector, it doesn't matter. It's just going to give you that dimension that you want. That was the idea I wanted in the first place. Because without a doubt, if I stuck them down, I'd want to move it later and I'd have to rip them up. Okay, so I worked out I want to do my journaling on those speech bubbles. So I went away and printed out my journaling on some vellum. So I just did that on the computer. I think you just have to work out if your printer will actually print on vellum or not. Just give it a try if you want to try it and see if it comes off. I know my old printer, you couldn't do it. It just rubs straight off. But my new printer, you can, so I'm happy with that. So then I used the speech bubble outline stamps from the Project Life Point and Click pack to outline those, and used my speech bubble framelits to cut them out. And using the magnetic platform makes it nice and easy, and they don't move, which is great. So I cut those out, and then they were ready to use my layout. It was really quick and simple, really. The thing that took me the longest was working out what journaling I wanted to do. So I really like how they turned out on the page too. So you can see through them, but you can still read the writing. It's not a problem. So then I got out my linen thread, my favourite linen thread. The tag just needed a little bit of something, obviously, to finish it off. So I just used a little bit of my favourite. Though I had trouble tying it on. I wanted it double. And I don't know what I was thinking. I kept putting it through single, and then I put it through double, and then it wouldn't go through the loop. And you can see it's taking me actually quite a long time just to put a little bit of thread on this tag. But I got there in the end. So to stick those vellum speech bubbles down, I just used a little bit of the two-way glue pen. And I just went around the edges, just sort of underneath where the ink is. Of course, a little bit still shows, but when that dries, it's not too bad that you can't see too much of the glue. It's the best way I found of sticking it down. And of course, if you're hiding some of the vellum under something else, you stick that part down nice and sticky something and put it under where you're not going to see it. But when something like this where it just needs to go on the top, I found that two-way glue pen is the best way to stick them down. So to put a little bit of the matching green washi at the top there, I just put a little bit at the top underneath where my little arrow is going to be. And then I was going to put I glued my little arrow down the bottom there, but I put the sequins on, and then I just felt because there was a bit of black down with the speech bubbles and in the title, there wasn't enough black up in the top right hand corner of the photo. So I had that Project Life Point and Click stamp set out, which has lots of little stamps in there, which are great for Project Life, but also great for everything else. So I decided just to pull a little heart stamp out, just a little tiny heart, and I thought I'll just put that up in the corner there in black, which just I don't know, even things out across the page so that you're drawn to the photo. So I had to pull a couple more stars out from the start because I lost the ones on the left. I found them later on my floor, so that's not too bad, but I had to pull some more out. So I just stuck them around, and that's about the end of my layout. So thank you very much for joining me. I hope to be back with some more in the future. You can check out all my work at my blog at scrapronnie.com. See you all next time.